Hi, guys. So I'm going to start the show with a set. I'm going to put this closer with a set of true confessions. Number one, I hardly have any makeup on, which is why I appear to be all eyebrows because I'm not wearing a lot of other makeup. Number two, this is one of my favorite dresses, and I have this thing that when I love a dress and it's downgraded because it's faded and pilled and I can't wear it out in public, I downgrade it to pajamas because I always get up early to walk my dog on the roof. So it's always nice if I'm already wearing something that kind of looks like I'm dressed. So I only wear pajamas when I'm in hotels or my dog's not with me. So I'm wearing pajamas. Technically, this dress has been downgraded. And number three, we're going to have a short show because I have to wake up at dark 05 to catch a 7 a.m. flight. It's not Mother's Day yet, David. Next weekend. Next weekend. So it's bananas. How excited I am that the world is reopening and that I'm a part of the reopening. I was in Ventura Harbor Comedy Club Friday and Saturday of this week. I can't believe when I look up like that, Friday and Saturday, it's because this week has been so jam-a-lamma ding-dong packed with business and work and writing. I mean, the world is opening back up, and your girl here, because I'm positive and I'm not political. You guys know me. That's why you show up here. Your girl is the brand. People are looking for me. It's exciting. I'm a busy girl. However, here's what's exciting. It's like plate spinning. I am so committed to the 3:30 gang. Today was show 400. I promised 40. Okay. 10 times over delivered. Okay. 10 times. I promised that I was going to do 40 shows. Today was show 400. I've only missed 3 in 400 for minor surgery. And tonight is show 49. I've been doing this now for 13 months and, 13 months in 1 week because I decided that I was going to do this. And the commitment that I have to you and the gratitude that I feel for the commitment that you have to me, it's just, we got a thing. We're like me and Mrs. Jones. Now, if you get that, you're over 50. But when I was it's right. When I was, I think 4th grade, there was a song. Yeah, there it is. 10 times magnitude. Thank you. By the way, producer Stanton, there's a couple of people on the internet machine that refer to you as Professor Stanton, which I love even better. But there was a song popular when I was in elementary school by a guy named Billy Paul, and the song was called Me and Mrs. Jones. And the song was fantastic. And I used to say, we got a thing going on. It was a really good song. So we're like that, me and you. We're Mrs. Jones. And if you've never heard the song, you got to look up Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul. It's really good. So I'm that weird combination of excited and exhausted. I have to get up super early. Sorry, I get a new gig. Sorry, I got a new gig job and life went in a different direction. No, San John, stay here. That's not me. I'm not going to say that to you guys. That's for sure. So this morning, I woke up super excited because Friday night I had a great show in Ventura. Saturday I had a great show in Ventura. There were people inside. I could see their whole faces. Now, granted, there was social distancing and people were careful. And after the show, as soon as I left the stage, I put my mask back on. And there was still, this and this. People wanted to hug me. I hugged a few people, screw it. But it was a wonderful weekend. It was the first show that I have done. Friday night was the first show that I have done in Southern California in a comedy club since February 12th of last year. Yeah. So that's like a very long time. And the other one I did was at a private club on a patio outside, social distanced. And that was April 1st, April Fool's Day show. So tomorrow I'm going to Vegas for a business meeting that I can't tell you about right now. But if things go well, I can tell you. And it's going to be extra fun. It's going to take the whole show next level. So I want to talk about a couple of things that were actually talk of our times things this week, which is I have a line that I always say, And I thought it was Aunt Mame, Auntie Mame, which was a Broadway show. Lucille Ball was Auntie Mame, and Rosalind Russell was Auntie Mame. Just like My Fair Lady, Katharine Hepburn was My Fair Lady, and so was Audrey Hepburn. It's kind of interesting. You'd have two lead actresses named Hepburn play the same role. But yes, there were, and Rex Harrison, who was Rex Harrison, and both of them, Henry Higgins. He when he was asked which one he liked better, he answered that they were both equally delightful in very different ways. How diplomatic, Mr. Rex Harrison. So I always thought that this line was Auntie Mame. And the line is this: I love you like my luggage. And it was very expensive in matches. It was actually Olympia Dukakis in Steel Magnolias. And we lost Olympia, who won Best Supporting Actress for one of my favorite movies of all time, Moonstruck. Such a great movie. And she was so amazing in it. Cher won Best Actress. So imagine both of them won Best Actress and Best Supporting. And there were many scenes where Olympia stole it from Cher. If any of you remember Moonstruck, it was one of the best movies of the 80s. And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's a young Nicolas Cage at the top of his game. Olympia Dukakis, as I say, Robert Giardino, I think I said his name properly. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful film. And I interviewed, she came out with a movie a few years ago, about 15 years ago. Couldn't tell you what the movie was. But when I was on radio, I had the privilege of interviewing Olympia Dukakis. And interestingly enough, and I'll just leave you with this nugget and then we'll move on from Olympia. She revealed, oh, I know what it was. It wasn't a movie at all. She'd released her autobiography. And in her autobiography, which she told me on the air live, hey, Harry. She didn't say, hey, Harry. That was Harry Wilson saying hi. For those of you who just listen to this and don't watch it, you probably think it's pretty funny that I just yelled out, hey, Harry, in the middle of a story. But as long as I've digressed, okay, producer, not Professor Stanton, is going to be happy when I tell you to tap, like, and ring the bell. Subscribe, tap, and ring the bell. I know there's things you're supposed to do. I think I got it right. So Olympia Dukakis on the phone talking to me in Indianapolis, Indiana, told me that she had been in an open relationship. Open relationship. In other words, you're my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend, but we sometimes bump uglies with other people. Now, at the time, in the early 2000s when she told me this, mind blown, because I'm just not that kind of person that thinks that way. And I don't think that a person like Olympia Dukakis thinks that way. But it makes me laugh because I have a new bit in my act about how the kids think they invented stuff. Like my niece, Margot, has this whole lingo, this whole, I don't even think she's a Gen Zer. She's 19. Maybe she's a Gen Zer. But she talks to me about gender fluidity. And I tell her, sweetheart, that's nothing new. Like you call it gender fluid. I called it bi. Abuelita, that's her word for grandma. That's what she calls my mother. Abuelita called it AC/DC. My mother's mother just, called it Liberace. Like nobody knew what Liberace was. Or Walter Mercado, who was, if you haven't seen the documentary, Mucho, Mucho Amor, the documentary, I believe it's on Netflix, about Walter Mercado. Do yourself a favor. This guy was so ahead of his time. And thebomb.com, by the way. They talked to me about polyamorous. I'm like, okay, you call it polyamorous. I called it swingers. Abuelita called it key parties. Nothing's new. I'm pretty sure back in the day, people did the old tractor switcheroo or something. I don't know. Or you got in your horse and buggy and it wasn't your wife. I don't know. But it's, producer Stanton's pulling something up. Oh, Walter Mercado. I don't even have to look. From a distance, it looks like Walter Mercado. Anyway, he was fantastic person. I grew up in Miami, so he was part of my life. And he was, I guess my niece would call him non-binary. And he wore a lot of sparkly capes. And he did your horoscope. So, you know, the news is the news. The world is moving forward. Producer Stanton is delighted because next Saturday night, yep, that's him. That's him, Producer Stanton. Oh my God, he's amazing. He's amazing. It's such a good documentary. You have to do yourself a favor. He was pretty much the bomb. Uh, oh yeah. Oh, Producer Stanton, you're killing me. You're killing me. So I want Elon Musk, who's not nearly as flashy or exciting as Walter McConnell, but has his own brand of charm. He's going to be on Saturday Night Live next Saturday night. He's hosting. So lucky for you and me, I have a gig. So I'll be doing the show on Sunday, Mother's Day, from my mother's house in San Francisco. We'll do a full show next Sunday because I won't be working hard like I did this weekend. It'll just be, I'm doing a little corporate gig on Zoom, but I just can't be around Saturday night. But hey, we can all watch Elon Musk and then regroup, discuss on Sunday, Mother's Day. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. Yesterday was the Kentucky Derby, and a horse with the last name of Medina won, not Funky Cole Medina. I don't remember. I just know there's Medina in his name because I have a friend who's a comedian named Joey Medina, and I'm pretty sure he was not riding the horse. Or the horse would be like, oh man, it is going to be hard to win with Joey Medina on my back. By the way, if he heard this, he would laugh himself. We're really good friends. So I wanted to tell you that today I went downtown because I had to, that's not code for anything. I actually went downtown LA because I had to run some errands. We have an Elon debriefing. That's exactly what we're going to do, Producer Stanton. So I went downtown to run some errands and to check on my haunts. Now that things are opening up, guess what? Last bookstore open. And you can go in and you can sit down and lounge and do last bookstore stuff. I remember when I was on KFI, I used to have a whole segment about cheap or free dates. And oh, thank you. Somebody said I look so beautiful, and thank you. And I did a segment about very inexpensive or free places you could go to have a very fun date. And the last bookstore was one of the first things I did on that segment. Sadly, I must report, I'm not reporting on India and things like that because all we can do is send them good thoughts, vibes, whatever you believe in, prayer. If you don't believe in prayer, I tell people everyone can soar. Send out a request. SOAR. Send out a request. So I fear that me personally, my hands are tied to be supportive other than to pray. And so I don't want to bring us down by talking about things that we can't contribute to. And the reason I'm bringing up certain things in downtown LA is because in your own town, wherever you live, there's probably small businesses that are at make or break time. So if you can support them, like just do it. You know, I have my eyebrow lady, and she's in downtown LA. She's from Nepal, and she's very good. And I wanted to support her because they've been struggling intermittently, being shut down, being reopened, being shut down. So I went to Miss Rupa's Brow Lounge, hence the nice brows with no other makeup except nice brows. So I went to Miss Rupa's, and then I checked on the last bookstore open, but several restaurants around it that I loved are closed. Central Market open, fantastic, but they have rules about how you can eat and where you can sit, but it's fine. The Angels Flight Funicular is open. It's going back up and down the hill on Hill Street. Woohoo! And that was in case you missed it at the beginning of this year, because it was last summer, but I watched it at the beginning of this year when I was still on lockdown. The Perry Mason redo on HBO Max is just fantastic. And it involves a lot of downtown. It's very film noir, and it shows that funicular. What else? A lot of the theaters and restaurants are reopening. None of the shows have shows now, but they're selling tickets for future shows. Adam Carolla is coming to the Ace Hotel Theater. Now, again, I know that the vast majority of you don't live in LA, but I'm telling you this so that I can encourage you. If you're vaccinated, if you're being careful, if you follow the protocol, find out who you can support and how you can support them. Because as the world reopens, this is the time. This is critical mass. This is when we come together and we vote. We're not consumers, we're prosumers. Vote with your feet, vote with your dollars, give money to things that matter to you. That's something that producer Stanton and I talk about all the time. He's a big Elon Musk guy, and he puts his money where his mouth is. He has, a couple of nice cars, and he supports the brand. And I believe in that. I'm not able to have two really nice Teslas, but whatevs. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's my car. I'm just kidding. I have a very nice electric car myself. It's a hybrid though. I don't have a Tesla. But the point I'm making is vote with your feet. Go say hello to people. Show up. See who's still there. Showing up is half of life. Be supportive of the small businesses that you frequented and maybe you stop going. And even if you're in a state that's more open, I was just in Florida. I was in Phoenix at the end of March, and I'm going back for Cinco de Mayo. I'll be back in Phoenix on Wednesday for Cinco de Mayo at Stir Crazy in Glendale, Arizona. It's actually a suburb. It's where the Cardinals play. So again, I apologize that this is going to be a shortish show, but I'm tired and have to wake up very early. Producer Stanton has no electricity, so we're plugged into the same socket so that he can run this show as his refrigerator. I would really hate to be the cause of producer Stanton losing some of his food. And I feel like that excited, exhausted, wonderful feeling with good vibes has been translated onto you. And we came together and we did what we were supposed to do. So we're going to wish Olympia Dukakis that she rest in peace. We're going to say prayers for India. And then we're going to watch something that blew my mind this week that I sent producer Stanton and said, Producer Stanton, we have to air this ad if we can. It's how I feel. This ad captures how we should feel coming out of the other side of the pause for the cause and getting excited. I remember watching the Olympics in the summer of 1976. I was a kid when Nadia Comaneci got her perfect scores in gymnastics. And ever since then, I became conscious of the Summer Olympics and gymnastics in particular. And I fell in love with this girl a few years ago, and it just grew stronger this week. So until next Sunday night, I'm crazy about you guys. Yeah, that's the one I go to. Thank you, Hector. Glad you stopped by. Love you all to pieces. That's right. Pray anyway, son John. That's what I do. Until next Sunday night, you have your marching orders. Elon Musk on Saturday night. Mucho, mucho amor when you get a chance. A little prayer for our friends and families over in India, our brothers in India. And soaring if you can't pray. Just send out requests that Olympia rests in peace and that, people that are still struggling just to get their head above water with this situation, get what they need. All right, Producer Stanton, I'm going to sign off, and then you do what you do. Until next Sunday night from San Francisco, California, at the home of my mother on Mother's Day. Love hard, forgive harder, and get as happy as you can, as fast as you can. Good night, guys.
When you are Simone Biles, certain laws just don't apply. Like gravity.